Hello there, and welcome back to VE League, presented by Metal Gear Speedrunners. I am your host, DLimes13. I am joined once again by Platonic Guy. How are you, dude?
Hey,
So we're just going to get confirmation that the runners are ready and get this thing underway. And away they should be a-going. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about this match, dude?
so this is a replay of last week's exhibition match. I believe Mac won that match, if I remember correctly. We know how both players like to play. Very traditional. We're not going to see any newer swag strats from either of them, with exception to maybe a few things. Engine room, stuff like that. It's just going to be the same for both players.
Yeah, historically, these two tend to play some really close, interesting matches. VE tournament back in May, 2 seconds apart. Questionable stuff by both players made that a really exciting match. I think this is a relatively easy match, and it's a battle for playoff position. These two are in the 7 and 8 seeds right now in the playoff standings. They really need a win. Mac is sort of trending up. He's won 2 straight. Meanwhile, Apache has actually lost 4 of 5, so trending in the wrong direction. A win here for either of these players is going to go a long, long way.
Yeah, especially as we're kind of winding down with VE League now, just a few more weeks remaining. Positions are starting to get more solidified now.
I grew up on the battlefield. Conflict and victory were my parents.
Looks like 2 traditional right side Olgas for both. Should be pretty easy to deal with. Matt gets the RNG where Olga goes back. Apache gets the better RNG and goes forward. And virtually in sync.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Slightly faster for Apache since she went forward, but practically the same.
Ooh, nice stab drop by McD. Very nice. Get that animation cancel worth about 3/4 of a second. That'll give him just a smidge of a lead early as we head down to the good old engine room.
While we're going there, we mentioned this in the earlier race with Makarov. MackMcD likes to play on New Game Plus Plus, so he gets the sunglasses. Apache doesn't. He's playing on New Game Plus. On very easy, there's no difference. It's just purely aesthetic, whether or not you like Snake to have sunglasses or not. It's kind of weird for Snake to be wearing sunglasses, considering the tanker chapter takes place at night. But
Right. It's all those LED lights, I guess, just trying to shield himself from that. But no, I mean, sunglasses of pure preference. It looks cool and whatnot, but I don't care about them personally. So each of these players are going to go for the good old 1974 strat of just hanging down the rail a little late, shrinking this guard, and then rolling. You get a cutscene at the end of engine room, which loses about a second, but it's generally pretty safe.
yeah, prior to engine room starting, both players equipped their cameras. If you notice on Mac's side, he actually had to menu twice because he had the digital camera on. It's a small time loss. The way you get rid of that digital camera is just setting up your saves correctly before the run starts. Luckily on PC, there is a community save that we can use on the MGS2 wiki, which already has that one camera set up for you.
Yeah, it's a very minor difference, but I mean, if you accidentally equip your digital camera, you're going to be in it for a very rough time come Hold 3. So it's best just to get rid of that stupid thing. But Mac continues to use it, so that's his call.
It's probably just muscle memory at this point. If he
It
changes,
really
it
is.
might just be weird for him.
Yeah, especially for how long he's actually been running the game. He's one of the older veterans of the game, and Apache's getting up there too. But Mac was one of the pioneers of VE. But let's see how they fare with Guard Rush. Gets the guard at the back. Very nice. Tiny bit of trouble with that last guard, but not a big deal. Apache having trouble with one of the guards. It's going to be a much slower guard rush for Apache, and Mac's going to have the early advantage.
He almost got the right guard where he just hides behind the wall, but luckily just in time he got the headshot.
And Mac did not equip the camera. Okay, that's going to cost him some time. That just evened it out. That just negated guard rush.
Oh, wow.
That little mistake.
Holes is notorious for massive time loss. We are not even through to the hard parts yet. Both players getting hold one correctly though.
Yep, good.
So that's half of the trouble.
Yeah.
At the moment, every industrialized nation on the globe knows the specifications for Metal Gear.
Doing the hold up strat for both. Apache holding up a few extra guards, and Mac gets caught. Oh, that is a devastating blow early. And the hold strike again.
So that's a massive setback. It's not over, but I think for the next portion of the run, this pretty much means that Apache is going to be in the lead, barring anything catastrophic.
Yeah, that's probably upwards of about a 25-second time loss. I mean, it's small in the grand scheme of things, but as we go on and on, if Apache can maintain that lead, then it's going to be really hard for Mac to come back. He's a little suspect on these photos. A couple of them I just did not like.
I didn't like that first photo that he took.
Will he get it? Apache's in plant. He's good. All right, photos are fine. So, hey, it's a little risky doing those 2-spot photos because you think you got the spot, but sometimes you just don't for whatever reason, and it's just whack.
It's one of those where in a race setting, it's probably better to go for 3 spots because it's just so consistent and it's not that much of a time loss.
Yeah, it's around a second time save if you get the whole or the 2-spot camera correctly, but yeah. But onto the plant. As we have said repeatedly, this is just tutorial section, cutscenes, codex to skip and whatnot. Not a whole lot going on until we hit bomb disposal.
I think both players are going to go for the old setup where they don't go for the M9. I don't know if Mac started picking that up, but Apache doesn't.
Yeah, I know Apache doesn't. He goes for more of a just showing off how blind the guard is strat. Nope, Mac's gonna go back for the M9, so he is joining the meme party. Now, I will say right now for our audience, we had some trouble getting some audio from Apache's feed. He just has it really low on his computer for some reason. So we will be hearing MackMcD's audio throughout the entire run, regardless of his position. I'll answer this directly to Darren in chat. If that happens, where Apache Nikita's the president, I'm going to go on about a 45-minute rant. So you just wait. You just wait.
I can see you now just like falling on the floor and we just hear it through the mic.
Oh my god. We'll explain more when we get there, but yeah, if it happens again, he's never going to forget it. So Apache wisely unequipping the weird movement there. Unequipping the M9, going into the Pliskin cutscene. That way he can eventually quick equip the M9, leaving the Stillman cutscene. Little menu optimization, leaving Tanker any tanker on USP will grant you this little menu trick if you do it right.
Wow, you guys are harsh in chat. Like, I hope Apache's not reading this during the race.
Jeez. I don't want to rag on him too early. I mean, the dude's winning, so give him credit for that. He didn't screw up the holds, but man, oh man, like I love to give him crap as much as the next person, but let's lay off a little bit for right now. He's playing decent. So I believe both of these players are going to go for traditional bomb disposal route where they go clockwise and don't involve any conveyor belt nonsense.
Yep. I'd be very surprised if either of them went for it. I'd be very surprised if Apache doesn't get menu trick, considering he and you were the ones who figured it out.
Yeah, we labbed it for about 3 hours one day, and it saves about 0.2 of a second. So, but hey, that's VE in a nutshell.
Yep, there you go. Menu trick and traditional bombs for Apache, which Mac should be following suit as well in just a bit.
Traditional bomb disposal route isn't all that challenging to a degree. There's a couple little tricky rooms. If you get onto EF bridge and accidentally hit a mine, you can lose some time there. But if Mac is going to make this up, it's not going to be all at once. It's going to be little by little here and there during bomb disposal. It's not till later in the run that you could see something happen where we see a dramatic turn.
So yeah, this is a run that's going to take place the entire game, starting from tanker all the way to score screen after plants.
Who's there?
We will also be going to IGT as we did for every single race so far, just to confirm who won and for their cumulative IGTs.
Yep, we always go to the end game timer for league matches to become official, and that is also for speedrun.com submissions as well. That is a rule on there. Generally, on average, a run is about an hour and 5, 6, 8 minutes, somewhere in that area. So it's a fairly short run. 10 minutes of that is credits. But it's a really fun run. VE has definitely evolved over the last few years to what it is today, culminating in an entire league that we've been doing for the last 2 months. So we love to see it.
Apache got this swag cartwheel up the stairs there at the beginning of the helipad.
It's actually a lot easier to do than you think.
Yeah. Believe Mac's gonna go for it as well? No, Mac is just playing a traditional, take one step up the stairs and then cartwheel.
Yep, those trusty 1974 strats.
What's not
Just
traditional though is one cartwheel down the stairs.
Yeah, there's the whole 1 cartwheel, 2 cartwheel club. Pretty much everybody at this point does 1 cartwheel down the stairs. If you do 2 cartwheels down the stairs, yeah, it technically doesn't lose any time, but it just looks goofy and yeah, it's just bad. Apache's going to go for the mine pickup. Very nice. Did the analog
Ooh.
setup. Very risky to do that. It's the iridescence way of doing it. So not bad.
So there's one area where neither of them went for traditional. Well, Apache didn't go for traditional, picking up the claymore. So not only does he save time for not having to go around the claymore there, but he also saved time before Fat Man, since he doesn't have to pick it up then. Mac will be going for the traditional setup where just ignore the mine now and pick it up on his way to Fat Man.
Yeah, and even way back when, that wasn't a thing where we just pick up the mine. We pick up the mine on all difficulties just to offer better lines for later and just to eliminate the risk of just blowing ourselves up or getting an alert. And it usually saves us time. And on this difficulty, we actually do use the Claymore mine later. At least most of us do. So there's definitely benefits on picking it up, but I would never go back to just avoiding it and just leaving it there. That's just goofy. So pump room can be a little challenging with all of the coolant rises you have to do, crawling through the pipes, and then defusing that bomb from behind, which is a little bit of a particular setup. Apache did it pretty clean. See if Mac can do the same thing.
So yeah, the game actually wants you to go around the red pipe to defuse the bomb, but luckily someone found a spot where you can just defuse it from behind and save time from having to go around that pipe. And in between that, we do what's called coolant rise, where before you stand up, equip the coolant, then stand up. It just cancels that animation. It's a nice small time save every time you do it.
Who is that? It's the enemy. I need help.
Now Apache coming up to his strut B bomb. Fun fact, you can actually defuse the bomb without closing that locker, but it's almost frame perfect, pixel perfect. It's really, really precise to do that. If you got it, it would save roughly 2 seconds, but the setup for it is just it's not consistent whatsoever. It's not worth going for unless you're doing a task or something.
Yeah, like you could spend 10 minutes there just trying to get the line for it, and you still won't get it. It's that precise.
Mm-hmm. I think Platonic mentioned this in the last broadcast that we're doing this in a reverse order now, where we defuse the bomb and then pick up the sensor. Saves so about almost a second because you don't get a certain codec delay if you do it in the reverse order. Oh, and Apache misses the sensor, so that negates everything I just said.
Yeah, for whatever reason, that sensor has like a small hitbox. You kind of have to hit it at the center of the box.
Hmm.
It's like the complete opposite of the Nikita, where you can pick it up from like a mile away.
And Mac did a long range cartwheel into the sensor, saved a little bit of time, so hats off to him. So probably about a 1.5 swing because of that. So room and a half apart, roughly 20 seconds. I'd say Mac has gained maybe a couple seconds on Apache.
So pretty much now it's just a race to see how fast you can get to the bottom of strut A, defuse the final bomb before Fortune starts.
Yeah, when you're defusing the last bomb, you definitely want to be careful of accidentally getting too close to the water and eventually jumping in on accident. Lose about 5 or 6 seconds if you do go in. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna shut my mouth for a second. I was gonna say something, but I'm just gonna wait till both of these guys are done. All right. Hiccup from Apache. Should be fine.
Just a little too far away at the start.
These cartwheels from Mac. Like, what are these cartwheels? Like, don't
No.
do this. Please don't. So bad.
So Max in a kind of awkward position, but I think he should be fine.
Okay, what I was going to say was nobody has fallen in the water yet, but I didn't want to curse them, so there you go. Why don't you explain Fortune?
So Fortune, I mentioned this in the previous race, but it's an auto-scroller in name only. The goal of the fight is just to survive until the fight is over, but we do have ways to progress the fight faster. The first thing and the most important thing you need to do is get Fortune to destroy that forklift. We have a very specific setup for that, where you just punch 3 times to set yourself up. After that, it's just preventing the time losses, not getting her to talk, letting her shoot the boxes, letting her shoot the yellow barrels, stuff like that. All that just progresses the fight even more. If you get her to talk or anything like that, it's a few seconds here and there.
And on a run and category like this, that can definitely add up really, really quick. There used to be a lot more variance with this fight, but due to just recent discoveries and just testing, we have gotten down to a little more of a science. Not perfect, but definitely a lot better than the olden days.
Yeah, it used to be like a 7-second variance between best and worst case scenario. Now it's like a 2-second variance, so it's practically nothing. That's basically fast elevator.
Yep. So Apache is out. Oh, and he gets hit on the roof. That is unfortunate.
He does pick up the chaffs though, so at least he has that for later on.
Wow, very, very nice from MackMcD. Got the damage cancel and picked up the chaffs. That's a pretty decent swing. It's about 3-4 second swing. So the gap, it's shrinking. It is shrinking.
He's caught up to him. He's basically one room apart at this point.
Yeah. Like I said, he wasn't going to make this all up at once, but now we're starting to get to the point of the run where we can start to see some chunk play. Fat Man goes haywire. We have Ames coming up. The Almighty Harrier. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of stuff left to do in this game.
He will lose a little bit of time here on EF because Apache picked up the Claymore early and Mac didn't, but he still made up a lot of time in bomb disposal.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, that negated the mine issue from Apache.
Might get shot once or twice here.
Yeah, he got shot once, but
Yeah.
um,
That does mean that Mac definitely won't be going for Claymore strats in Shell 1 core, even if he had any plans for going for it.
yeah, and I don't think he's adapted that yet, so it's not too big of an issue, but see how Apache does with this fat guy. Going for the newer setup. Didn't shoot him.
Yeah, that second shot can be awkward on the setup for whatever reason.
Good, fast bombs, though, very, very important. So that's going to be a pretty decent fight from Apache. Max going for the more traditional, reliable setup. And doesn't get the best RNG. Goes east instead of south. But all in all, not too bad of a fight. Fast bomb, yes. There we go.
So relatively decent from both players. I think Apache might have had a slightly better one, but overall, as long as Fatman doesn't run away from you that much, it's a decent fight.
So I'm going to see what the gap is here in a minute. It's probably going to be about 20 seconds-ish. Okay, 37. So now they'll be heading into Shell 1 core, eventually picking up the D mic, and then our main element of RNG in the run. Where is Richard Ames?
Before that, they have to go through EF. Do you want to explain the strat they use in this room?
Yeah, you use only D-pad. You are only allowed to use D-pad on the EF bridge. There is no other way to get through that bridge unless you use D-pad. And it looks like both of them use D-pad, so they will not be disqualified. Kappa. Now, there are certain players that like to use analog on that bridge. Those players should not be running this game.
I will say that the current world record holder did use analog in his world record run for this.
Sell out. God. Who's the world record holder?
I don't know.
uh,
So yeah, like we mentioned, Apache didn't go for Claymore strats as expected. Mac definitely won't now because he didn't pick up the Claymore, so it's basically going to be a traditional setup, I'd hope, for a fast elevator.
No, that's not true, Shadow. Like I'm racing Joe next. Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, Mac took an alert intentionally just to skip.
Oh no, he did it too early. This
Oh
is
gosh.
really, really bad. Super, super bad. He needs to get in evasion. Or start killing guards. Like get oh, bunka. Nope. 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 This is borderline GG. Aims from Apache. Decent. Near southeast. Not bad. The
That's not what
guards are
Mac needed.
everywhere. He can't get out.
He should be
cannot
killing
get
them.
out.
He should be killing them.
Just kill them or trank them. One of the two. Like
Oh no, is he gonna wait for the oh?
he's just gonna take a death. Now he's menuing. Like I don't know what he's doing at this point. Like this is GG. Like this is reminiscent. Not in the same room, but Tino made a pretty big mistake in V1 in the VE tournament that led to something like this, and it was just bad. Oh man, you feel for him.
Yeah, in these sorts of cases, for anyone who doesn't know, you can't just escape this room. If you're on alert, the elevator just won't come down, or you can't use the elevator at all. So either you get rid of the alert or you take a continue. The best option would just be to kill the guards to get rid of the alert or trank them since you have the M9. I think Mac just panicked there because this is something you never see. But the gap is now really large just because of that one room. Apache has a lot of breathing room at this point.
Yeah, for sure. It's a small risk when you go for that strat. If you time that shot wrong, the guards can spawn out of the elevator room, and that's what can happen. So
Yeah, it's a setup that BMN likes to go for, where you get an alert late in that room, just to skip a mini cutscene where a guard's like yawning or begins to run. But Mac went for it way too early, where the assault team units spawn next to the elevator while he was still in alert.
yeah, and as BMN is saying in the chat, he fired after the first cartwheel instead of a second. So you're talking like about a second difference between that and basically costing your race. It would take something monumental at this point. The gap is easily probably 2 minutes, almost 2 minutes. But it ain't over till it's over.
And on top of that, he just flipped over that guard and he gets a bad aims. That's just not going to help his cause at all.
Just insult to injury at this point. But Apache has to deal with sensors and the Harrier. So you can lose time here, but it would take a lot to lose that much time. He's a little iffy on the sensor. Okay, that took a few extra seconds, but not terrible. Better safe than taking a continue with these sensors.
Better menus for the chaff later on as he begins Harrier. I believe he's going to go for a 5+1 setup.
All right, let's see what he gets. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Snuck in that 5th shot.
Oof.
And looks like he should get the +1. He does. Very good.
Importantly as well, it was all high damage 5, which is what you need.
He's opting to stay up top, which doesn't bode well for his menus, but it's a minor thing. Perfect carry out of him. Very good. Mac is just picking up his PSG-1. Heading to Harrier as well. Oh, Apache went for that fancy cartwheel to clear the stairs and missed.
Yeah, he went at it at an angle. You need to be in a straight line to get that because the room for getting that cartwheel is a bit precise.
So he's got chaff grenades out, which is going to make this whole perimeter section pretty safe. Barring any gobbledygook weird stuff, it should be pretty safe going into the core. But even though Apache has a pretty big lead, sometimes it can get in your head just a little bit. If you have that big of a lead, you might start to play a little too safe, you wonder. I'm not sure with Apache's experience in races that it would come to that, but I wouldn't the lead's safe, but I wouldn't consider it like locked. Mac is
Yeah,
going
there's a
to
few rooms in this game where you can easily mess up badly and it would just make up all the time again. Jejunum, Vamp could take up some of that time, stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Mac went for some risky sensors, very, very fast with him. See if he can nail Harrier. Nope, he's not gonna get it. That's gonna lose time. Unfortunate.
4 high damage. This means he'll lose about 15 seconds or so. Not what he needed.
Oh, too early of it. Oh, just multiple issues there. He was too early on a cutscene and in a bad position to fire that stinger. 0 die shots.
Yeah, he's just rattled at this point.
Yeah.
I'll let you go out in style.
And he re-equipped too early. Yeah, everything's just going haywire at this point. This is going to go into missile phase.
Yeah, missile phase is pretty much worst case scenario for Harrier on PE.
Unfortunate.
Apache's going for some frame ones. Just gets a little bit more time
Ooh.
save.
Matt gets a save boss.
Oh,
Yeah, he's clearly rattled for sure, but I mean, how can you not be after what happened in B2?
yeah, it's one of those things that when it happens, especially in a race setting, it's kind of hard to prepare for. You just don't know what to do. There's no real backup strats for that unless you just improvise.
All right, and Apache did not kill the president, so that is GG's to him. For those who didn't know, takes 2 Nikita missiles to kill the president on very easy. And Apache famously killed the president on very easy on world record pace on console. Way back when.
Encounter the enemy.
Takes real skill to do that. So, unless Apache wants to practice for some reason, I don't think we'll see a swim glitch out of him. I think without a doubt we'll see it out of Mac at this point. I mean, he needs everything and then some to have any sort of hope. Monka? Okay.
Wow, that first card was scary.
Yeah, it was kind of like angled. It was weird.
You can't fall off at that point. It's not like a free card. Well, it's kind of a free card wheel, but it's easy to mess up. I remember not long ago when the record was 102.14. I think I was on 102.04 pace, and I took a continue there. It was really heartbreaking.
Wow. Yeah, that would be. He's firing his SOCOM, which is something a couple runners do, including myself, when it's like a tell when you're going from swim glitch. Screw it. He's going for it. Why not? Get the practice in now. This is good. 1 cycle. Nope, he needs a little more height. That's
So it's going to be a 2.5 cycle.
That's decent. That's going to save him time. So hats off to Apache, relatively new to the swim glitch scene, thanks to Turbo, and surfaces properly. Very good. Very good. Oh, Turbo Vamp, he almost ran out of stingers. He had like 1 stinger or 2 stingers left. He didn't pick up the pack during Harrier. That's so risky.
I think he might have just forgotten, because it's something new that we've started doing.
That is so gutsy to do in that situation.
What are you doing?
Yeah, if Apache uses analog for swim glitch, that hats off to him. But yeah, I'm good with that. No thanks.
It's kind of funny. A lot of people have picked up analog swim glitch, and they actually do pretty well with it. Even
Yeah,
though, like, I don't understand it. Like, my fingers hurt if I try to do analog swim glitch.
the problem I have with analog is I find it too easy to surface on accident, accidentally
Yeah.
do like an up input with analog. So that's why I don't like it. That's not as bad as analog EF bridge. That's just being an idiot. So
Yeah, see, even Tesla agrees. Bad people use analog for swim glitch. Speaking of Beswick, I'm gonna pressure him on stream to start doing VE again. He needs to get a 101 and join us. Can easily get that.
I miss you, dude. We'd love to see it. All right,
Fast
let's see
elevator
what,
for Mac. That was nice. Right before he begins swim glitch as well.
let's see what he does here. You have to do it. I mean, there's no point to not do it at this point. Yep, going for it. Looks decent so far. Not quite a 1 cycle. It'll be a 2-ish cycle. It'll be almost equivalent to Apache's.
I think that was like almost identical. I need to compare that really close to each other. That was like almost the same exact swim glitch.
Surface right at the edge too, so very nice. Nice frame 1 from Apache.
Yeah, he's clearly studied the setup for this. For frame 1, all you need to do is just face the left wall before you surface, and then you need to hit either D-pad up, left, or down, depending on which staircase you're at. The exact setup for it is on the wiki if any runner is interested.
Now we're on to the section of the game. It's going to slow down a little bit. Both of them are going to have their Emmas to escort out. And really not much of an opportunity to gain any sort of time until we get into Arsenal gear, barring something dramatic. No phantom radio call from Apache, so that's good.
Weird double pump. But it still worked. Emma pump is really safe on this game. You can be like she can be like halfway in the door and it still works. It's unlike HDC or like there's a 50% chance that the game just decides, nope, you're not completing your run.
Nope. I mean, the big time losses that could creep up, and it's still slim. When you get into Arsenal gear, Jejunum, even that, you're only losing about 30 seconds if you royally screw it up. Tengu 1 a little bit, but not too much. Tengu 2 can have like maybe 10 seconds of variance or so. There's really not much of an opportunity for Mac at this point, barring something just drastic. Even if Apache has a lot of bad luck with Arsenal gear, it still would not be enough, I wouldn't think.
You can switch to the non-lethal blade. He did Makarov did switch to the non-lethal blade, but it was actually a good backup for him to stab Solidus. Just do that lethal damage to end the phase, to end phase 1.
But while we do have some downtime, I do want to remind you this is VE League presented by Metal Gear Speedrunners. An 11-week event. We are in week 9. We are getting towards the home stretch. Battle for the playoffs. Top 8 players in our 11-player league make the playoffs. Most of us either have 2 or 3 games remaining. These two are fighting for a playoff position right now. They are in the 7 and 8 spot right now as they sit. A win for either one would go a long way. So, and Apache's in really good shape. We do broadcast these matches on the channel every Thursday night. We will have one more broadcast next Thursday, December 17th, before we will go on a 2-week break for New Year's and Christmas. And then we'll return the following week, the first week of January, for the finale of VE League. And then we'll be having a playoff later. So if you like VE, like close competitive matches, or you're just a fan of Metal Gear Solid 2, you are in the right place. Good bump from Mac.
Here's what I don't like about sniping: using the AK for the ciphers. I just can't stand it. I'd rather preserve my AK ammo for the EF ones.
You really don't need that much ammo on EF.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know.
I also only pick up the one AK ammo pack. I think Apache picked up both. One day I want to be able to not pick it up at all.
Save that couple frames.
Yep.
Yep. Every frame matters on this category. So we'll tell you about the match coming up next while we have a moment. Ooh, Mac's having a little trouble defusing that guard, but he kills him before a radio call goes off. Joseph Joestar and myself coming up next to end the night. It is basically a battle for the number 1 seed. The winner will likely be the number 1 seed in the playoffs. If I win, I clinch it no matter what. If Joe wins, then he basically clinches it, barring some weird upsets next week. But it's a battle for number 1. I'm undefeated 8-0. Joe is 7-1, and it has surprised everybody in this league. And yes, I said defusing the guard on purpose. I get it. I get it. So, by design. But any thoughts on the match coming up?
It's a weird one because it would be in my interest if you beat Joe, just based on how the tables are set up, based on how the league is right now. But I also kind of want to see an upset where Joe beats you. So I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. But I know Joe's been messing with Turbo today. That could either be a good or a bad thing. It's a good thing because he's going to start seeing random time saves that he didn't expect just because of the Turbo. But if he's not used to it, that could be against him because it is a learning curve to get used to that Turbo.
Yeah, finally, after all these weeks, he's one of the last ones to actually get Turbo working. We could see a 102 out of him. I don't know. I mean, he's got all the skill in the world. But yeah, I think it's going to be closer than what we think. I've practiced next to nil this week just because I've been very, very busy with stuff. But that doesn't really mean much for me. I don't know. I mean, anything can happen. I could have a controller malfunction, power outage. You never know. I think it'll be a fun race.
Just make sure you learn how to use keyboard swimming.
I'm ready with keyboard just in case. But I think it'll be interesting. So, but I'm happy that Joe's in this position that he has a chance to be the top dog in league. I did not peg him to be this good early on. Yeah, he's had some unfortunate mishaps as far as his opponents, but you play. It's not your fault, not his fault that opponents had issues. So 7-1.
No, it's entirely Joe's fault that I can't seem to race him.
Right. Yeah. Next time, check your controller. So
I need to check my PC. Last time I played him, I got a blue screen.
yeah, you've been having a lot of PC problems. That definitely concerns me. So it might be good you had the week off this week.
But before sniping started, I noticed that Mac, when he had trouble with that guard, he wasted a lot of AK ammo. He only has 9 bullets now, so that's gonna make EF after sniping a bit awkward for him.
Yeah, he's probably gonna have to do some calming, I would guess.
Yeah, I've seen him do backups before, so this isn't the first time. It's gonna be first time that he's put in this situation. But on that bridge, you mess up and take an alert, you're most likely taking a continue. And a continue in this section isn't just repeating EF by itself. You're brought back down to the bottom of strat E. That can easily be like a minute or so time loss, maybe a bit less.
Yeah, I'd say around maybe 45 seconds, depending on where it happened and how it happened. But it's devastating. I mean, if Apache theoretically took one here, I mean, it wouldn't necessarily bring a Mac back, but it would help. But he's got plenty of ammo. I'm not worried about it. Yeah, pretty standard stuff from Apache. I wasn't afraid to jinx that, so that's why I said it. So Apache heading into Arsenal gear. We enter endgame. Max still has about a third left of sniping to go, so it's still a really hefty margin.
He just has a scope out now, waiting for ammo to cross over.
And if you think this section is boring, you want to make $1,000, find a way to skip this section in a legal single segment run without any cheats or anything. Break the game for us, and you could earn $1,000 with the bounty.
Personally, I find this section to be my favorite part of the run. I look forward to this 40 minutes into it. No, I'm joking. Please skip it.
Oh my god.
Alright, judging him for Apache.
I will say that sniping is a decent breather moment if you're like on world record pace or something and just need a moment, but otherwise it's just trash.
Yeah, Apache's playing it safe and judging him. Just go around the guard, lose 3 seconds or so, but the only thing you'd have to worry about is the gap itself and not getting an alert.
Max got 4 bullets. No! He made it. Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
That was scary. He got shot as well, like half a step ahead of the final floor that falls down. If it just happened a quarter of a second too early, that's a continue.
It's been a while, hasn't it, Jack the Ripper?
And Mac is in the chat right now. He said he had turbo on to conserve on the shots, which if you fire the AK when turbo's on, it actually lowers the rate versus just holding it normally. It's actually pretty smart to try to conserve ammo, but it still didn't work. but good movement to avoid that continue for sure. To hold out any sort of hope. Maybe if he print screens his way and he can still win this.
Olga, you can't keep this up. They're bound to find you.
Listen, I'll free you in a little while. Brace yourself.
All right, let's see a Tengu 1 from Apache.
That was
Left
kind of
side
weird
is-
at the start. He went like 2 left. Looks like he was using analog.
Yeah, I tend to use D-pad for this. D-pad is just superior all the way around.
Yeah, this is one room where I actually prefer D-pad if you're doing left side.
All right, well, he gets through that fine. Let's see how he fares with
There's
Tengu
somebody there.
Dos. Going to be going for the Bestwick setup, which is a standard for almost all runners. I think you still do the traditional setup.
Yeah, I still prefer the old one.
Yeah, I think it's more or less a matter of preference. I think the gap is, I think it's a little more consistent with Bestwick, but I think you can get just as good of a time, maybe just slightly better with the traditional setup.
Yeah.
Apache letting a couple Tengus fall, not too big of a deal. Nice double.
Seems like a decent Tengu 1, Tengu 2 so far by Apache.
Another double. Not too bad. It is serviceable. Yeah, and this section is just a 90-second auto scroller that we just wait for
What are you
Solidus to go
thinking?
blah blah blah, and you can't skip it. So this would be bounty worthy if we can skip this speech. It's a free 90 seconds of time save, and that's a free $1,000 for you.
Damn kid.
That would almost get us into 59 territory if we could skip this on VE.
Yeah, pretty much. Either of the auto scrollers or just the waiting times for ascending colon and rectum. I'd take any of them.
Shout
I
out
believe
to Apache he's on 69 stingers.
I believe the only one that in theory is possible to skip is the sword tutorial, and I know that from trainer, but there's no realistic way of doing it.
Yeah, and that would only be worth 45. That wouldn't get us to sub-hour. But Mac having trouble with the skip. Alright, you had to kill some extra Tengus. Apache on Raise, going for the more traditional setup. And nails it. Matt going for the Bestwick setup as well. A little farther back than what I would like, but should still work out fine.
Decent Tango 2 so far from him. He's landing every guard.
Yeah, this is pretty good for Mac.
Looked like it was back-to-back fish and males as well, if I saw that correctly.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's probably a low 50, maybe even a high 49-ish. So that's pretty good.
Discovered the S3 data from GW. Not a bad idea, though. Using fire to fight fire.
All right, Apache
Create the perfect
coming up to
assassin
the
retire
solidest fight
Solid
and
Snake's
time.
brother. S3 stands
Based on the
for
pace of these
Solid
runners,
Snake.
Apache could walk out of here with a 103. I think will.
Reproduce Solid Snake, the perfect warrior. The result is a Foxhound Commando. When Foxhound no longer exists,
I don't know if it'll be enough for a PB though.
I'm kind of looking at his PB now. Maybe.
I think
It's
yeah.
definitely. I think it's definitely 103 piece.
Yeah, there's a decent chance actually. Now that I'm looking at it again, maybe like a 2x, maybe 1x, possibly. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on how quickly this fight ends.
He didn't do any of his grabbing the ledge thing, so he's definitely gonna save some time there.
Breaks Solidus's attack, very good. Tries to get away.
He's too close. Okay,
Really
wow.
really bad RNG. Unfortunate. That could have cost him his PB. So
Oh, that's gonna be tight, but GG's for Apache. Well, Mac is about to start the Ray fight.
yeah, 59-42. Or 55-42 on the RTA. I don't know. We'll see. I'd say borderline at best.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be tight.
Jack? GW. The Arsenal
But
AI is corrupted beyond repair.
a win
I
for
admit that I
Apache,
underestimated
nonetheless. That he will improve his record to 4-4. Probably going to solidify his spot in the
I'll
playoffs.
squeeze the answers out of you instead,
Hasn't
my
clinched anything yet,
son.
but it's definitely going to feel good after this one. Mack will drop to 2-6. Feeling the heat from Tyler and even a Makarov with a win tonight. Even Mayu, barring some upsets, 4-way battle for that 8th and final playoff spot.
It's not him I want the answers from.
Alright, Matt's done with the torture, just final set of cutscenes and codex before he gets onto Solidus.
All right, standard start from Mac. A little aggressive getting towards him on that second part.
I do like that a lot more runners have adopted the slash early, right at the start of the fight, instead of going and punching him. It is a bit trickier to get, but it's a nice small time save.
Enable that. Hold on. Oh, there we go.
Clean phase 1 for Mac, he's in phase 2 now. It's a bad RNG with Solidus swiping at him instead of giving him people's elbow, but he did get it for the second one. Now it's time for him.
So about a 2.5-ish minute gap, but per all VE League matches, we will go to the score screen for the official score. And then we will get you set up for the next match, which is myself, D-Lim versus Long Name Joe, 316. See if we can get either one in for an interview. I'm not sure if we can. Oh, we have Apache with us. GG, dude. Congrats.
Yo, I was watching the whole time, so I seen like it was bad times for Mac. I just felt really bad, to be honest with you. Like, no one wants to see that. No, you don't want to win like that. Like, you don't want to see that.
No, it was definitely unfortunate. We've seen stuff happen in league and in play that it just happens. It happens to all of us. We just have a bad room, and it just can bleed time. And unfortunately, that was GG. He played pretty well outside of that, but I think after that happened, he just got a little rattled. So
Yeah.
Oh, I was over
If
after that. Yeah.
yeah, it was a Mac. Yeah, I think if I was in that situation and I was having a bad time, Mac wouldn't like try and play down to it or anything. He would just try and you would just try and get your best time possible, right? Like
It doesn't.
that's
Well, it's not even just the race, right? Your time is cumulative. You got to still squeeze out as much time as you possibly can.
yeah.
I wouldn't ask anything less of you. I'm actually glad that I don't know. Is this a PB? Because like this is a solid run. Man.
Possibly, I had a fuck up at Solidus to be honest with you, but
No.
I took Jejunum safe because I was like, no way, I'm not doing it again because I'll get memed on forever. I'll literally every time someone gets their Jejunum, it'll be like, oh, I don't know, ApacheSmash, he's lost like 2 minutes here to Matt. Not a chance, mate, not a chance. So I went safe there, and then I got knocked over by Solidus, but I don't know. I felt like I played really well.
Yeah, that was definitely a solid run. It's a shame I wasn't able to keep you on your toes through it, but I guess I didn't need to. So GG, man. Very nice
Yeah,
race.
you were literally breathing on me the whole time. I'm scared of facing Makarov now. 10402. Like that. I could
No
feel,
kidding.
there's a few weeks
that's
that would have beat me. There's a few
that's
weeks
a
that
tough
would have beat
out.
me.
That is going to be a tough out for sure. Don't
Yeah.
underrate the possible upset that could happen this week. And it's not even an upset anymore. Makarov is getting that good
Yeah,
this year.
Makarov's a contender. Straight up. He just is.
Oh yeah.
He's 100% capable of better as well. Like he got that 10402 with some like pretty sus things going on in there, some big time losses. So he's so capable of better.
But
Yeah, if he
definitely,
keeps, he's pretty much PB'd in every single race that he's had so far. If he PBs one more time, then that's 103 in the next race.
I mean, I'm literally looking at his times, and outside of one week 6 match, he's literally improved every single week. So like this dude's a player. This dude's a player for sure. And it'll be a fun match come next week.
Yeah, I can't wait till he gets his 102 and then he goes, there's a 106, that definitely in the chat. Like Makarov, it's not. No, it's a 106. I'm sure of it. No, it's.
Matt pointed this out in chat, but Makarov's like the worst to recognize his own IGT.
Yeah.
Hands down.
I really don't know what this time is, but like finishing with a like 55 RTA, I'm always really happy. It's where I
Me
want
and
to be.
Limes were talking about it just before you ended Solidus. There's a small chance you might PB off this.
That'd be cool. That'd be very cool. Shame
You
about
being in
getting
a
back
race
on that Solidus, man.
environment says a lot about one's overall consistency and playability. I feel like if you're just doing a one run that you can't reset and you're PBing, and this applies to Makarov and Mayu as well. Like if they sat down again and just put in a couple of hours of playing, they're just going to keep PBing over and over again.
Yeah, that
Same
golden
goes for
zone,
you.
mate. You remember that zone where you could just you could play it every single time in PB.
Yep.
They were the good days.
Yeah, I miss those days. Now I'm on it's always wild when you're going for that next minute mark too. It seems impossible, and it's really no different than just trying to get another couple of second PB. But
The
since
best
I'm
thing
3
about it,
seconds away from 102, it seems impossible, and I just can't get it.
as soon as you break it as well, you can't stop doing it. Like
No,
as
and then
soon
it's
as
just like, oh, okay, I'm getting PBs every 2 runs. Great. Weird. It's a weird psychological thing, I guess.
I miss those days. That's kind of why, like, I want to run a new game to have that feeling again. But like, ugh. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely an entertaining match despite the unfortunate issue. But
To explain that a little bit, to go into what happened in that room, I did a little bit of a practice, not a full run, but like I was practicing some areas. And I did that shot after the single roll in my practice and it worked. But I tapped the fire button too quick. So, when Raiden just lifts the gun but doesn't actually fire. So it was still delayed. And that just led me to believe, like, I just ignored that. So I thought it was possible to do that shot that early because I did it. But I ignored the fact that it was delayed still, even in my practice. So this time I pulled it off right away. It was too early. That guard showed up and kicked me in the face. And then I don't know what to do. I've never once you get like a straight up full on alert in that room, all I can think to do is try to hide until evasion comes on, because then I could just run past them like nothing happened. But
Hmm.
I couldn't get into a decent enough hiding spot, so I just panicked and let him kill me.
Yeah, I think either kill them all, but you have the risk of a respawn, or M9 them is what I probably would have
That's
done.
what BMN was saying in chat. I saw it was
Yeah.
M9, and was like, well, at that point, like, I got a quarter of life left. Just let him finish me off. But
All right, coming up on time for Mr. Smash.
That's PB.
Wow.
Let's go.
Wow.
Very nice.
whoa,
Let's
nice.
go.
By 5 seconds, I believe.
Two.
Yeah,
2
5
seconds.
second. No, one. No, one. My PB is 103.
Oh, it's a
33.
33. I thought it was
Yeah.
a 30. Never mind. Yeah.
Very nice.
Very good. 5-second PB.
GG, man.
Yeah, GG, mate.
Like I could have pulled out everything I had, and you're still a very high likelihood you won that race. So like, there's nothing to be lost in this race. It's not like, ah, shit, I got an easy win. You didn't. Even if I came in here with everything I had, you probably still took this one. So GG.
Well, it's nice of you to say, mate. It's always a pleasure racing you, and I'm sure we'll have some more in the future.
Oh, I'm sure we will. People seem to like it when the two of us go against each other, so let's just keep doing it.
Something dumb's bound to happen. Like something a bit out of the ordinary is bound to happen whenever we have a race, even if it's a exhibition or whatever. Something
Yeah.
a bit off will happen. It's always a good time.
I will commend you, Apache, for doing swim glitch and starting to. It's fair to say you're like starting to adopt it on a regular basis now.
Yeah, it's getting there, mate. When I'm not like shaky, that match against Plywood, that was so rough, and I just knew I wasn't getting it. So it's
tough.
coming. Next up, one cycle.
Yep. Yeah, I think you'll be on the 102 train here very soon, especially if you can get that on a consistent basis.
Speaking of swim glitch, I mentioned this as well. I think you and Mac had pretty much the identical swim glitch. Like if you looked at it like right next to each other, you both got like 2.5 cycles. You both like moved left and right at like the same moment. So it was like almost the identical swim glitch.
Like had to do that additional little readjust for the second
Yeah.
cycle. Yeah.
Yep, in the same spot and everything. So it was really
Yeah.
strange. Yeah.
That's like the last ditch one. It's like you have to get up there to save time. It's like it has to be
Yeah.
there to be like it's the last swim glitch that can be considered good. And then after that, it's like, oh, I don't know if that saved time. Oh, they lose 8 seconds on the way back.
All right, coming up on time for McD.
Oh yeah, that brings me back.
Yep, 106.04. So, all right.
That's the
Well,
time.
it's a time. It's a time. Not your worst, but it's a time.
That's true.
Yep. But that's going to do it for this match. We got one more race coming up. Joseph Joestar 316 versus myself. We're going to go to a short intermission and get you guys set up for that. So stay tuned.